So this really is a big moment for NTV. He won the World Cup as captain in 1990 after finishing runner-up in 1982 and 86. He also had an incredible career playing for Bayern Munich, winning 7 Bundesliga titles, and also had a very successful career in Italy with Inter Milan, winning the Serie A title. He is called Lothar Matthaus, and he's here with StarTimes TV for the Bundesliga Legends Tour. First of all, what are you doing here in Kenya? Thank you so much for speaking to us.
I am the ambassador for the German Bundesliga. Not only me, we have 8, 9, 10 ambassadors, and we go around the world. And not only Germans, the same players who are not from Germany, but they played in the German Bundesliga years ago. They're coming from Africa, they're coming from South America, they come from North America, they come from Asia, and we present the Bundesliga in the world. That's it. This is my job, and for this I am here today in Kenya, and this is my first time in Kenya.
Where do we start? Statistics surrounding you are amazing. 7 Bundesliga titles with Bayern Munich. You've also won the Serie A with Inter Milan. But let's talk about the national team. You started off playing Germany back in 1982. Yes. Finished runner-up in the World Cup 1982, 1986. But 1990 was your year where you won it, and even more importantly, you were captain of the squad.
Yes, this was the nicest World Cup, because when you win, it's always nicer than when you lose a final. We was 82 and 86 in the final. This was the third final in a row, 90, and we have to win. And I think 90 we was the best team. We had very good atmosphere in the team, and great players like Rudi Völler, like Andi Brehme, like Jürgen Klinsmann, like Klaus Augenthaler. Very good players, and I think 90 we present the German football in the right way, because we played from the first game on the highest level. We won against Yugoslavia, who was the secret favorite for 90 for the World Cup. We won against Holland with the 3 big players who played by AC Milan, Van Basten, Rijkaard and Gullit. We won against England with Lineker and Gascoigne. I think, and on the end, the final, we won against Argentina with Maradona. No, this was a nice World Cup for us, and for me the highlight in my career. I had a lot of highlights, but this was a little bit higher, because the World Cup, it's only each 4 years, and one team win the World Cup, and I was a captain. I get the cup in my hands, like first. It's an amazing feeling.
You had an incredible career with Bayern Munich. Just tell us a little bit about it.
I played 12 years for Bayern Munich. I won 7 times the championship title in Germany, 3 times the cup, and I'm very happy to spend this time. Munich is a beautiful city. The club is a big family still today, and I don't live in Munich. I live in Hungary, in Budapest, where I was the national coach between 2004 and 2006, and I stayed there because it's a beautiful city too, but I come back to Munich, and when I come back to Munich, I feel like at home. When I am close to Bayern Munich, I feel I am part of the big family of Bayern Munich, and it's a great club. They make great results, they make great business, but they have still a great heart.
Just tell us a bit about your life growing up. Was it East-West Germany? Just tell us a little bit about growing up in Germany.
I born in West Germany, not so far from Munich, 180 kilometers north from Munich. I born in a village, name is Herzogenaurach. And Herzogenaurach is very famous, normally all over the world, because Herzogenaurach, or Puma and Adidas, the sport companies, they started business in Herzogenaurach. Wow. They built them 1948, Puma, and 1949 or 51, 2 years later, Adidas. And I think this come to me too, because in Herzogenaurach it's very small. And all the people who are living in Herzogenaurach are close to Adidas or to Puma. And my family was closer to Puma. For this I am the same, the last 38 years ambassador for Puma worldwide.
Now the Bundesliga, I remember it from the 1980s. There was football made in Germany when we had literally one TV station. Remember it even in black and white. But the business model, so successful. It is one of the best attended leagues in the world, and just making so much money. But the fans have a big say in it. They have stakes in the various clubs that they're fans of. Just tell us about the business model.
I think the atmosphere is important for the football. Without the atmosphere, the football cannot have this standing like now. And in Germany, what we have too, we have not only football fans, we have the same good facilities. Yes, you feel safe in our stadium. We have, this is a family feeling. The football is not only for men, this is for the family, it's not only for adults, same for children. And what we have to give them, a good feeling and a safe feeling. And I think everything what you want from a football game, you can find in a German football stadium each weekend.
Not only that, I think 2006 there was a lot of development of infrastructure, the stadiums and all. You look at the football stadiums in particular, some of the best in Europe.
Yeah, you can profit from a World Cup. Yeah, not only in the moment when it's a World Cup. Many clubs, Bayern Munich too, profit from the World Cup because without World Cup they never built a new stadium. With the World Cup they get a new stadium. Yeah? A new stadium, a fashion stadium with higher capacity. The fans are sitting closer to the field, and not only Bayern Munich profited from this, but this is an example. All the clubs who are or mostly of the clubs profited from the World Cup 2006. And it's different than in South Africa, for example. 4 years later, I was in South Africa 5 weeks during the World Cup. I was going to the stadium. Beautiful stadium, very nice atmosphere. But what's happened after the World Cup? Nobody like to use or will use the stadium with this capacity, 60, 70, 80,000 people. Now they have 5,000 spectators, 10,000, maybe 15,000. Maybe when it's a national game, the stadium is sold out. But Bayern Munich, 13 years, this stadium, and only 2 games in this 13 years was not sold out. All the other games sold out 70,000 each weekend, each game, cup game, Champions League game, championship game. Always sold out, and this is useful. But in South Africa they built a stadium and now doing nothing with the stadium. Like in Brazil, World Cup 3 years ago, Maracanã Stadium. Now the Maracanã Stadium was beautiful 3 years ago and now destroyed. It's like a museum. This is the way what you have to do, like a country. When you get a World Cup, you have to enjoy the World Cup, but the facilities you have to use after World Cup too. How was doing this a German club in a very good way.
All right, that's Lothar Matthaus, the 1990 World Cup winning captain. Thank you so much for speaking to us on NTV. Such an honor. By the way, the only title to elude him was the Champions League. Never winning it in his career, but I tell you what a legend. Thank you so much for speaking to us on NTV. Thank you very much.
Welcome.